Okay, now we're going to talk about banded wall walks. There's a bunch of different ways to do this. This is meant to work on scapular stabilizers, so in other words, shoulder stability. Often prescribed to patients that are dealing with any number of shoulder issues, but shoulder impingement is a big one. If you have a torn rotator cuff or an injury to some of those muscles or tendonitis or tendinoses, these are great exercises. So you're going to grab a loop, as we call it. I would err on the side of lighter. This is a challenging exercise for most patients. What you're going to do, you're going to have your arms about shoulder width apart, and we could start by just holding our arms in this position. Your elbows should not be out here. If you can see that, we want them to be under the wrists, and we're going to slowly go up and down while keeping tension in the band. I like this wall slide version. Sometimes you don't slide quite as well. I will use a foam roller. Same thing, really keeping that tension, doing your best to keep your elbows under your wrists. To progress past the wall slides, remember I called it banded wall walks. That's because we can actually walk our way up the wall while keeping that position. Elbows under the wrists as best we can. We can go vertically, we can go horizontally. The key is to always keep some tension in the band. The final piece that I like is we can work on both an isometric and different positionally. What does that mean? Well, we can set up in this same spot we were. We can go out one, back in, up on an angle, back in, down on an angle, back in. This arm is working isometrically. It has to hold the position. Those muscles have to contract to stabilize the shoulder. The other one is working a little bit more dynamically, moving in each position. So we can repeat going the other way, out to the side, up on an angle, down on an angle. These are great exercises. You will feel the burn in your back. Some of the things that we really want to avoid as mistakes, keep those elbows under your wrists. If we flare out the elbows, we're not going to get that same activation. Try not to let your shoulders hike. I want you to try and keep them down, set in place. Really focus on using those mid-back muscles. They're small, they're not often used quite as much. This will burn, that's a good sign, that's what we want. So go ahead and try those at home.